Supreme abundance and gratitude to all. So before I go any further, let me use my disclaimer. I am not a medical physician. I am not a doctor. I am not a psychiatrist. I am not advising or giving anybody medical advice. Anything that I speak about, you can search up on the internet. There are plenty of biologists, geneticists, chemists, physicists, geneticists that are putting this information out here. And all I'm doing is breaking it down or speaking it in layman terms, whereas though a baby, an infant can understand what I'm saying. So now here we go. 1p36 deletion syndrome is a disorder that typically causes intellectual disabilities. Most affected individuals do not speak or speak only a few words. They may have temper tantrums, bite themselves, or exhibit other behavior problems. Now, the reason why I'm reading this to you right here is because it's very important for people to understand what's taking place with the sun and why it's so important that I'm telling you that 2024 is the race against the sun. Because when the sun is having these coronal holes and having these sunspots that are releasing what you call coronal mass ejections, which are ionized charged particles that are attaching themselves with the smallest building unit of the cell of the living organism, of every living organism, even Mother Earth. So it's bonding with the smallest unit of all the cells. And what's happening is that energy, that wavelength, that frequency is starting to vibrate faster. This is where the Schumann resonance come in at, and they took that website down. But the Earth would vibrate a 7.83, and that would be a peaceful and a relaxed nervous system when it comes to what you call complex cell organisms, multicellular organisms. But when it comes to the Schumann resonance spiking past 7.83, where it is spiking now, where it's spiking 120, 140 hertz and plus and better, that right there is to evolve your consciousness. And because the complex cell organism, those that are mixed with different animal gene sequences to make one living organism, the sun is having problems communicating with those different animals in one living organism. So the frequency is off, and because the frequency is off, the organism is now going to be off. So this is why you see a lot of behavior characteristics of a lot of violent things are taking place: cannibalism, beheading, stabbings. A lot of this stuff is taking place. Road rage is happening right now because of the frequency of the sun that's happening on the planet. Our people are waking up and want to become more knowledgeable. We're becoming more self-aware, and we want to know what's going on beyond the reality that they have tried to force us to see. Because now the frequency, again, these energetic particles are hitting the dormant part of the brain, which is your frontal lobe. Your frontal lobe doesn't start development until you're 18 years old. And this deals with delayed gratification, higher cognitive skills. This deals with creativity. And when that is developed, and it also deals with controlling your emotions and controlling your feelings, when you have that active and that is working, now you come to a higher principle of thinking of life. So this is the problem with other races of people. They don't have an active pineal gland, or it doesn't produce what you would call neuromelanin. Only us produce neuromelanin, which is condensed sunlight. So we're literally the sun. So when you hear they talk about in climate change that the planet now is overloading with CO2, the carbon emissions, because during the day we absorb the sunlight, and at night we release what you call CO2 gases. This is us. So now we are charging up through the sun, and at night we are charging up the planet. That's why at night you see something on the backside of the planet. So now what's happening with the DNA is you get 23 chromosomes from your mom and 23 chromosomes from your father. That's a lie, because no scientific explanation have came out and stated that how we went from haploids to diploids. Virtually impossible. Why did the DNA start to copy itself, and yet we do less now than we did then? That's virtually impossible. So what's happening is that cell, because the UV the CMEs coming from the sun separates the electron that protects the cell, exposing the cell to UVA, UVB, which has increased exponentially, and now UVC radiation, which is a detoxifier, a germ killer, a mutating wavelength that is changing our genetic makeup. What's happening with the atom that these people possess, the atom, what's happening in that atom, the neutron is being removed. The neutron holds no charge. It's going to be electron and proton. Just think of the neutron like God. Think of the neutron like Jesus, Muhammad, a prophet, a messenger. Think of one of those high priests. That's what a neutron is. A neutron holds no charge. So a neutron is supposed to be the middleman between the creator and the creation. There will be no middleman between woman and child. There will be no creator. There will be no middleman between creator and creation with the so-called black woman and her son. There will be no middleman. And right now, this chromosome, because you need ultraviolet light to delete chromosomes and put genes in and out, and because our cells are coated and protected with neuromelanin and we absorb ultraviolet light, this is not happening with us. There will be no deletion of chromosomes, and when these chromosomes are deleted, then you start to have you start to have what you call birth abnormalities. You start having behavior. You start having learning disabilities. They start looking foreign. They start looking different automatically. So now let me go forward. Paul.
Yeah. What's your name, bro?
It's the knife.
Shard of glass or a knife. What you got there?
Yeah.
Put it down.
What you want?
What's going on with you?
Let him drop that. Yeah. Whatever's in your hand, drop it. Go.
What you doing? Hey!
Hey! Stop!
Get down! Get down! Get down!
Get back! Stop! Stop! You're gonna get shot if you don't stop. Yeah? Stop! You think so? Stop!
Remember, you can't kill the dead. The dead is already dead. And how did you kill the dead?
Stay back.
You had to shoot the dead
Not
where?
effective.
Any supervisor to do one?
Stay back. Hey, stay back. Drop the knife.
See that? Hold on. Pause.
911, what's the address of your emergency? And what's the problem? Tell me exactly what happened.
My name is Hans Walters. I work for Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. I just shot and killed my son, Max, and my wife, Michelle. And I killed her because she's in such chronic pain from her neck and back and on more medicines and she's not going to survive. And we were both seeing a therapist and psychologist in Boulder City. And I feel terrible for doing it.
Okay, and you...
Please don't interrupt me, please.
Okay.
I've also set the house on fire. And if the fire department comes to my house, because there's a fire hydrant right in front of my house, I'm going to open fire on them. So I have to wait till the house is burning and then I'm going to shoot myself, okay? So
okay,
I don't ask many questions. This is real. This isn't a joke. The fire alarm's in the background is because I set the garage and the bedroom on fire. My wife's in the bedroom. I shot her in the head. My son, unfortunately, is in the living room watching Oswald, and I shot him in the head, too. And, forgive me for my sins. Please don't call back.
A Nevada man is accused of eating a man's face at a bus stop over the weekend. He was reportedly eating an eyeball and an ear when police arrived. This happened on Sunday, April 28th, in front of a 7-Eleven at Charleston and Las Vegas Boulevards. An employee at the 7-Eleven is the one that called 911 to report a fight that broke out just before 5 a.m. The caller also stated the suspect was banging the man's head on the concrete, yelling and pacing back and forth. But y'all, about 45 minutes later, police still had not arrived, so another 911 call came in. This time, reporting the man fitting the same description was apparently eating the man's face. When police arrived on scene, they found 31-year-old Colin Check, whose mugshot has not been released yet, kneeling next to the victim with biological matter in his hair, mouth, and on his clothing. The victim, who was bleeding from the head, missing an eyeball, and part of one of his ears, was later pronounced deceased. Check, who is reportedly homeless, told authorities that he had been in and out of consciousness and that he hadn't slept for the past 5 days. He was taken into custody without incident and booked into the Clark County Detention Center without bond.
Now, back to what I stated to you right here. 1p36 deletion syndrome is a disorder that typically causes intellectual disabilities. Most affected individuals do not speak or speak only few words. They may have a temper tantrum, bite themselves, or exhibit other behavior problems. This is coming directly from the sun and the fact that they cannot biosynthesize the sunlight and convert it into chemical energy. This is what's happening, and get ready for the false flags because they got to cover this shit up as much as they possibly can. But guess what's not going to happen? They got a plan, but Mother Universe got a better one. The revealing. Abundance and gratitude to all.